believe it or not, another Hunger for Horror video in high definition, because we believe in quality here at Hunger for Horror.
True.
I wanted to fill you in. I've got some things here. There were some sales during the pandemic and really good prices. So there were a few things that I did get. By no means bought everything I wanted, but I bought a few things. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and show you what I got before it slipped my mind. I couldn't remember what I had in since the last video. Now, this first set of movies came from the Kino Lorber While Supplies Last sale. And the first one, Wyatt's got in his hand, not all of these are horror movies, but I just thought I'd go ahead and show them to you anyway, because I'm just a movie buff, period. Most of you all probably are too, and I'm sure that most of you all don't just watch horror movies, you all watch other stuff, I'm sure. Most of us do. So, anyway, without further ado, here's a thriller for you.
Yeah. 52 pickup.
52 pickup.
Oh. Great. The first
video. Make sure you hold on to these.
God.
Make sure you hold on to them until you know I have them.
Yep.
52 pickup is Roy Scheider and Ann Margaret. Of course, I love Ann Margaret. And Roy Scheider is a great actor. I always enjoyed him. Stuff he was in, Blue Thunder, Jaws, all that jazz, stuff like that. Anyway, great actor. Supposed to be a good thriller. I mean, if it's got, Ann Margaret and Roy Scheider in it, I don't know how bad it could be. It must be pretty good. So, we're going to give that a shot. Well, I haven't watched it yet, obviously. This movie was the biggest surprise. I had no idea how much I would like this movie, but this one's called The Pit. And this movie is by far one of the biggest surprises I've had in a long time for a movie that I just kind of, thought it looked interesting and wondered how it would be. And I absolutely loved this. This was so much fun. I mean, this is a 9 out of 10 easy for me. Maybe even a 10 or somewhere in between. It's a great movie. So if you haven't seen The Pit yet, I would recommend you pick that up while it's still available.
Mm-hmm.
David Hess from Last House on the Left and House on the Edge of the Park and The Hitchhiker, not The Hitchhiker, Hitchhike.
Have we showed that movie on this channel yet?
Yeah, we've got
Last House on the Left.
I've got the original MGM DVD. I've got the remake DVD, and I've got the Arrow box set, and I've showed all of those. Anyway, David Hess stars Jennifer Runyon. David Hess doesn't appear in this, I don't think, unless it's a cameo and I missed it. To All a Good Night. Not a bad little horror movie. It was pretty good. It'd be worth another watch. I think I need to watch it again because I was pretty tired when I watched it. But what I saw, I thought was pretty good. Pretty well done. House on Sorority Row I heard about for years and years and years. And I found out a movie that I'd already watched called Sorority Row was a remake of this one. Well, I don't remember a lot about that one, but this one I do. So this must be the better of the two. Even though I don't think the remake was horrible. I remember liking it too, even though I saw it first. But House on Sorority Row is fun. I really enjoyed this. This is considered a classic, and it's if you missed it, like I did, and years later, you always. That's why it's so great to have these things out on Blu-ray and DVD. Is you can always discover things that you missed the first time around. And fortunately, somebody was nice enough to put them out again. Well, because they were going to make money off of it. Obviously, they thought, hey, I think we can sell this stuff, so they put it back out again. And this was really good. I really like this. So check out House on Sorority Row. This is a DVD. I think there was Go ahead. I think there was a Blu-ray available at one time, but this had such a good price on it. I thought I'll be fine with the DVD.
Can I show this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Sure. It's not explicit.
Okay. This is called The Haunting of Morella.
Yeah, Haunting of Morella, and this has Nicole Eggert in it. She was on Baywatch, and some other people. Maria Ford, you all probably know her too, because she's in a lot of horror flicks, or was. But anyway, this was actually a pretty fun little movie. Mom comes back and tries to possess her daughter. She was burned as a witch. The mother was, and then she takes possession of the daughter, and the daughter kind of becomes her. And it's a pretty good little movie. I didn't love it, but I thought it was really good. I really liked it. So anyway, what?
Stuttering. You were like, I thought it was pretty good.
Lol. I stutter less than some of those politicians out there. Okay, Really Weird Tales. This is kind of a takeoff of The Twilight Zone. I didn't know this was even available on disc. I have an old Video Treasures VHS that isn't the best quality in the world, but I was so happy to get this. This was less than $5. and it was part of their Going While Supplies Last sale, While Supplies Last sale. And this is a great little, it's got 4 little stories in it, and the whole thing runs about, I don't know, about an hour and a half. But it's got, a lot of the people from SCTV that I like: John Candy, Martin Short, Joe Flaherty, Catherine O'Hara, and this is just really an awful lot of fun. And Joe Flaherty had a lot to do with the writing of these features. I think he wrote and maybe directed some of them. But I think he wrote all of them with his brother, I think. But anyway, Joe Flaherty fans, SCTV fans, definitely pick this up if you can get a copy of it. Really Weird Tales. You probably haven't seen it. It's really good. A lot of fun little short stories. 4 fun little short stories. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Alright, anyway, I like the purple color on this cover. It is Nicolas Cage.
It is nice artwork.
I know. This movie is called Mandy.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage at his crazy best. Basically, this is a revenge film. And I don't want to give too much of the plot points away because I want you to watch this for yourself. And sometimes I don't even like synopsis on films. Sometimes I don't even read the back of the box. Just because I want the whole story to unfold and I want to get it all cold, And this movie is, and I had heard it was really good. It was one of Nick Cage's best movies in years, and I would have to agree. That metallic kind of foil cover is really cool. I like that. And then, of course, it's the same artwork on the inside. But, yeah, Nick Cage fans, if you haven't seen this yet, it's been out for a while. You probably have if you're a big fan. But if you're even a casual fan of Nicolas Cage and you like horror, this is really a good film. It's a good revenge movie. Now, this next film, by the way, that was it. The Mandy wasn't part of that sale, so that was it for the Kino Lorber sale. That was, I think, Mandy I got from Deep Discount, I think. And they had a sale too, of course. And St. Bernard. This movie, I'm telling you what, this is one of the weirdest movies I have seen in a long time. This movie has no plot. It's about a conductor's descent into madness. And this movie, like I said, really doesn't have a plot at all. So some people really don't like this movie, but for me, it's such a surreal experience, the viewing. And it's really as much a comedy as it is a horror movie, if not more so. It's probably more of a comedy. But if you just like things that are just weird and out there and strange and creative, because these are you definitely had to have a creative mind to think up some of the stuff that they did in this film. St. Bernard is definitely one I would recommend. If you like weird film, this is one of the last masterpieces of weird film that I've ever seen. And it's weird. Not a little weird, it's very weird. So I have to recommend it. I really like that movie. It's at least an 8.5 for me. The Brain, I really enjoyed this one. Been wanting to get a hold of a copy of this forever, and finally did. And it's from Shout Factory, so it's a little pricey, but I got it on sale, so it wasn't too bad. But this was a lot of fun, and apparently it has quite a kind of a cult following based on the extra features that I watched a little bit of on this disc. The presentation is great. It looks good. I think it's the last existing print they could find. It totally looks fine. It looks fine. It sounds fine. It's a Blu-ray. They did a good job with it. Shout Factory, even if they have less than stellar source material, they're going to clean it up and do a good presentation as best they can. They don't put out garbage. They just don't. So that's really good.
Alright. This is the only 2-pack on this video.
As far as you know, we haven't got to some of the other ones yet. There's more coming. There's more coming.
Oh.
But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. This is a 2-pack. I don't know if it will be the only 2-pack, but the 2 movies in this pack is Ship of Fools and what?
Lilith.
Okay.
It's a girl's name. Yeah, this was a Dollar Tree pickup, and this is classic stuff. I mean, old movies, and this is from Mill Creek, and it was $1. And as I was checking out, apparently the cashier had already bought this because she had seen it there. She said Ship of Fools is really good, and it looks like these one of these at least, if not both of them, got awards or nominated for awards. Or maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, my vision isn't what it used to be. I seem to remember reading that on the back of the box. I can't read it right now. But anyway, I really enjoyed finding this. I haven't watched them yet. But for $1, go to your local Dollar Tree and see if you can find a copy of it if you want it. Now, this next movie is one that people went on and on about, and talked about how great it was, couldn't believe it was out of print. I hadn't seen a used copy for less than $35. Well, during all this, I finally found a copy for less than $20. So I thought, and that's with shipping, it was still less than $20, so I was happy. And honestly, it was a really good movie. The director of a movie called Slashers did this, and I really enjoyed. It's Maurice Devereaux. End of the Line. This apparently is kind of a rare film. It's kind of one that people don't talk about much, and seem to have quite a following for this movie. This is a Canadian version of the movie, which I understand it doesn't have any different footage than the American version. I think the two versions are exactly the same. But this apparently was a blockbuster in Canada, old former rental, and that's what I got from the seller from Amazon. It comes in a good sturdy case. I kind of like these cases that come from like Blockbuster and whatnot. They're good and sturdy. So anyway, End of the Line. I thought it was good about people, getting attacked by a religious cult down in the subway. And they're trying to kill people to save their souls, so to speak. And there is one scene in there that's a little more disturbing than for my taste at my age right now. But it was definitely horrific. I mean, they certainly went out of their way to shock and make you feel repulsive. It was definitely a repulsive scene. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But End of the Line, I don't know if I liked it as much as a lot of the hype that I heard about it, but I did like it, and I'm glad I got a copy of it. So End of the Line, if you can find a copy for less than $20, pick it up, because I've seen it for a lot more at this point, and hopefully somebody will put it out on a Blu-ray or something, and they'll re-release it, and then these won't be so rare, these DVDs. So, next thing I got here, this is a bag full of movies, because I went to 2 pawn stores today, and this whole bag, this is 18 movies for less than $30. These discs averaged me about $1.60 a piece, so not bad. So, first one. This one's not even unwrapped, and it's something I've been wanting to see for a while anyway.
Oh, and it is called The Heat.
Yep. Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. Like I said, haven't seen it. Heard it's good. Good action comedy. I like both these actresses, even though some people don't like some of the later Melissa McCarthy movies, but I even liked the Happy Time Murders. I even liked that. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. So, anyway, there's The Heat. This, I was just reading on I think it was on one of my Twitter or one of my Facebook horror groups that I belong to. And I have my own horror group, of course, called Hunger Appreciation Society of Mid-Missouri. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out. I post stuff there once in a while. The Fourth Kind. This is supposed to be a really scary, intense thriller. It's PG-13. So, you can watch this with your teenager, I'm pretty sure. But it's apparently a pretty horrific alien movie, and it's got that nice foil reflective cover, which I like those types of covers anyway. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. Most of these are things I haven't seen, or haven't seen in a very long time. Deep Blue Sea for $1, or Deep Blue Sea 2. I have Deep Blue Sea, and I know this is a sequel that came way later, direct-to-video, but I like shark movies. I like the animals run amok movies, and so I thought that would be worth checking out for $1. Dangerous Worry Dolls. And this is one of those full moon Charles Band movies. And, I enjoy these. I really do. They've got a lot of charm and a lot of heart. The acting's pretty good. The budgets aren't huge, but they do a really good job with what they have. I mean, I don't think they put out anything that's absolute garbage. I mean, some stuff's better than others, but I usually, for the most part, enjoy these. Wyatt, what happened? You don't want to be in...
I don't know.
You don't want to be in the video anymore?
I've been playing on my Switch, playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. Also, I'll be posting a video on Wyatt in the Games, today.
This weekend. Sometime this weekend. Might not get to it today, but it'll probably be tomorrow. But, yeah, he recorded it about a week ago, and I just haven't uploaded it yet. So, Wyatt and the Games, that's, I think, was that with an A and D or an ampersand? I can't remember.
Yeah, also, just a little thing I want to alert you about my channel name. I actually wanted it to be no spaces.
Oh.
Because that's like a lot of
characters? It's not a lot of character. Why in the games? Because you don't want to change it now, because when people go to look for it, they'll type it in the way they're used to seeing it, and then no one will be able to know which channel is yours anymore. So I go ahead and keep it. I keep it the way it is.
Yeah, it's fine, but I mean, Mr. A Game doesn't have any spaces in his name, so
Right.
I just want to get used to like YouTube and.
Okay, you ready to move on?
Yes, I am.
Okay, the classic Mel Brooks movie that couldn't be made today. It is a classic. Everybody goes on about this. For many people, this is one of their favorite comedies, if not their favorite comedy of all time. A lot of people love this movie, and it is. A little beat up copy, but not bad for $1. And I mean, the disc itself looks pretty good. Blazing Saddles, definitely before political correctness took over Hollywood. That's one of the worst things that ever happened to Hollywood, as far as I'm concerned. But you know, everybody needs to laugh a little and lighten up a bit. And this movie will definitely offend people that are very politically correct or very sensitive to any kind of humor that involves race or sexism or sex in general. So anyway, Blazing Saddles, classic Mel Brooks. You all probably already seen it, most of you, unless you're younger. And if you haven't, go ahead and watch it. See what all the fuss is about, because it's a very popular film. Brutal Massacre, a comedy. I heard this was good, and this was $1. So I figured, yeah, I can't even rent that for $1. So if you can find stuff you like at a pawn shop, man, I tell you, the pawn shops around here are very nice people that I go to, and they give really good deals, and they're very friendly, and I'm very fortunate to have such great pawn shops in my local area. Grown Ups. Had Grown Ups too on DVD. Didn't have Grown Ups, so I figured I'd get Grown Ups. And it wasn't expensive either. I think these were like $3 a piece, or maybe a little less on the average, because he gave me a bit of a deal on them. The Descent, original unrated cut. I saw this movie years ago and liked it and never had my own copy of it. Well, the price was right. It's added to the collection. Tie That Binds, from the producers of Hand That Rocks the Cradle. This is kind of more of a low-rent version of Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Daryl Hannah, Keith Carradine. But that, I still remember liking this quite a bit. Probably not as much as Hand That Rocks the Cradle, but it's definitely a decent thriller. And you know, like I said, it wasn't a lot of money. So everybody's went on and said how I would love The Hangover. They said, I can't believe you haven't seen The Hangover. Okay, well, picked it up today. So there it is, unrated, The Hangover on Blu-ray. Here's a double feature. Jet Li's Fearless and Unleashed. I remember seeing Unleashed, and I liked Unleashed a lot. I don't know if I've seen Fearless, but they're on separate discs, which is really nice. And so I think that was still the same price. It was like $3 or less with the deal. So anyway, Jet Li stuff. Old Anchor Bay, THX Remastered, Manhunter. Yeah, definitely needed to get that added to the collection. It's the original before Silence of the Lambs. It's, I think, based off the same book, same story, before Anthony Hopkins and company got a hold of it, Jodie Foster. This movie had already been out there for several years, Manhunter. So I remember seeing it years ago, liked it, and I wanted to add it, and been wanting to add it for a while, and I couldn't pass up for such a good deal. The Midnight Horror Collection, Road Trip to Hell, The Craving, Sheltered Hell's Highway, and Feeding Grounds. I don't think I've seen any of these, but that was $4 for them, or 4 movies for about $1 or less. So yeah, figure I'd check them out, because I'm a horror fan, so you know, I'm open to try anything. The fact that they're low budget doesn't scare me, because I watch a lot of low budget horror, and some of the low budget horror is my favorite stuff. So here's a comedy from John C. McGinley, 2 Tickets to Paradise. I love John C. McGinley from Scrubs, and I don't know if this movie's any good, but you know, again, it was a little less than $1, so.
Alright, next movie is 28 Weeks Later, which is almost an entire year.
Which is a sequel to this movie, 28 Days Later. And from what I understand, these movies, you know, are companion pieces, but my understanding is the sequel, 28 Weeks Later, is actually better than the 28 Days Later. I have not seen these. These are some sort of like zombie type, you know, mutation films, I believe, chemical waste, and people turn into zombies. This 28 Days Later, this movie, like I said, cost me less than $1, and it's still wrapped up. It's still brand new, folks. So, I figured that's about as good a deal as you can find anywhere.
All right. Next we have an 8-pack.
Mm-hmm.
An 8-pack.
And one of these movies I've already featured on another collection of videos. This 6 Degrees of Helter, or what does it say? The 6 Degrees of Helter Skelter. This movie I already had. However, these other 7 I didn't have, and these are all movies about serial killers, and they might be documentaries too. They might not be fictional accounts. But anyway, yeah, Amy Fisher story, Ted Bundy, Elizabeth Smart, Speck, Video Voyeur, the Susan Wilson story, Winter of Frozen Dreams, and the DC Sniper's Wife. These sounded interesting, and like I said, you know, it's at such a good price. I just really thought that I would probably get my money's worth out of it, so I thought, you know, give that a shot. And last but not least,
we have Dark Forces.
And I went ahead and picked this up. It doesn't sound like one of the better Elite titles, but Elite has been out of business for years, and just the fact I found anything from Elite in a pawn shop, this might be a first. I don't think I've ever found an Elite title in a pawn shop, but from Elite Entertainment, which is the little label down the corner. Like I said, they're not in business anymore. But this is a PG-rated thriller, but it actually sounds pretty decent. So I'm going to give that a shot. So I was pretty happy. So anyway, that was quite a haul for less than $30. It was like $29 actually. So
Wow.
I think that was a pretty good haul. I mean, you can't even hardly do that even at a garage sale sometimes. So I wanted to go get these videos out and show them to you before I forgot what I'd done, like I said, since the last video. So thank you for your time. Hope I didn't take up too much of it. Appreciate you stopping by and looking at what I have. Hopefully there's something here that makes you go, I didn't know that existed. I'd like to see that. I think that's why we all share these things. It ain't bragging rights so much as just, you know, just sharing what we have and letting, you know, fellow movie lovers know what's out there and what's available. And if I've seen something before and I liked it, I'll let you know. And if I'm showing it to you, chances are I liked it. If it's something I haven't seen, I don't know if I like it or not. But, you know, I don't have really hardly any movies in my collection I don't like. I usually like something about all of them. So, anyway, that concludes this video.
Well,
what do you got?
actually, to finish off the video, what movie in your collection that you can remember you don't like?
The one in... There's probably several. Probably something off of that that big box set over there that's got the 100 movies in it. Mm-hmm. Here, go grab it real quick. See the one with the black with the yellow and red writing on it?
This one?
The big collection on the third shelf. On the third shelf, over to the right, toward the right.
I don't see it.
2 big black boxes. They're two big thick black boxes. Pull that out for me.
Okay.
Pull out the whole thing.
The whole thing?
Since you asked the question, thanks for bearing with me, folks. This was totally unplanned. If there were movies that I really don't truly like, they're probably part of this collection. Bloody Nightmares, 100 movies. This goes for quite a bit of money on Amazon now because they don't print this anymore. They don't make it. Now, some of these are true classics. Some of them are grade Z, shot directly on a video camera movies. I respect people for, you know, even taking the time and having the guts to try to shoot their own movie and put together a script and stuff. I mean, I commend anybody that takes it. Everybody starts somewhere. So I would not, you know, discriminate against anybody for trying to make a movie. It takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, and sometimes it takes a lot of money. And even if it isn't not a lot of money for a movie, $1 million is considered a low-budget movie, or $500,000, which to me is still a lot of money. So if you can shoot one for $1,000 and make a decent movie that's still interesting enough to watch all the way through, I'm good with that. This Bloody Nightmares collection, again, it's 100 movies. And this apparently is real hard to find now. And it's actually a collection of 2 things that were released separately on their own. Let's see if I can get them to come out. I taped one of the boxes up because it just kind of naturally started tearing with opening it and closing it, because it's one of these things where all of the discs come in these little individual sleeves, these little cardboard sleeves for each disc. So they all come in little things like that. So there's like probably 25, or what is it? There's like 4 movies a disc or something like that. How many discs are in it? 12 DVDs in here. 50 movies. So this is the Decrepit Crypt of Nightmares. And I've covered this before. And Tomb of Terrors. But some of these movies in here, honestly, hey, I respect you for trying, but some of these I just couldn't make through. So if there are any movies, but some of these I really like, which is why I keep the collection.
Wait, what?
Because some of these movies in here are actually really good. I mean, they're low budget, but I like them. One of them is the version of Scream Bloody Murder under its original title. I think it's Matthew. And I always like that movie, so I'm glad to have it in the collection. So if you can get this for a good price, it's worth it. If you just love really low-grade horror where people, have very little money and trying to, show what degree of trying to kind of start their career as filmmakers, you might enjoy some of these. But I would say out of the 100, I maybe generally like maybe 10 of them, maybe. But in the others, maybe I just haven't watched. I tried several of them, and I just need to pull this collection out again and try to attempt to watch some of these that I haven't watched. But that's going to take a long time. I mean, that's 100 movies, folks. That's a lot of time. So I may not ever get through all of them, but definitely there's some good ones in here to be had. But if there were any movies that, since you asked, I don't like, they're probably in this collection. So these are probably the worst bottom-of-the-barrel movies that I have, some of them. So that concludes our video, Hunger for Horror. Thanks for stopping by. And hope to see you again soon. If I get something else in, I'll share it with you. And until next time, stay scared and be a creep and be a monster and be a zombie.
We should just make out our own outro.
What do you want to say?
I don't know.
I'm tired today, folks, but I did want to get this video done and show you this stuff. So anyway, I hope you all have a good weekend. Take care, stay safe. And in some places right now, there's some big cities that have a lot of civil unrest with a lot of violence and looting and stuff going on right now. So please just keep yourself safe, stay in, stay away from danger, and just sit back and enjoy some flicks. That's a lot better. So do that instead. And of course, I will pray that justice will prevail in everything that's going on. I'm not going to get political on this channel. This isn't what I'm about on here. But I certainly hope that justice will be served and that this will be resolved the way it should be. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all have a great one. See you on the next Hunger for Horror. You all take care of yourselves. Bye.